guys. What? Okay, wait a minute. Hi guys. How are you doing? It's me, Juju, your girls, cold sitting on top of the world. Y'all come on in and join me this evening. Let's get ready for another in-depth conversation, uplifting, informative, and tonight I hope thought-provoking conversation. So you guys come on in to my living room, Come on and join me, and just thank you so much for joining me this evening. Thank you guys. As you come in, please just give me a shout out. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're with me. Tell me how your day has been. Let me know how everything is going with me, with you. And then also just like and share the video. Invite a friend, invite a few friends, tag somebody. Let them know that Juju is on the air. Okay, let them know that we are here tonight, and that we are just looking just to have a fantabulous time, an in-depth discussion tonight. Hello, Miss Maria Davis. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. I made your hand off. I did do that for you. So she has her shirt, and then I've got to look and see what you have going on so I can get me something. Mr. Jackson, if you don't mind, send me another request. That one right there wasn't good, and I don't see you on my list. So send me another request if you don't mind. How are you doing this evening? It has been for me a very exciting weekend. Oh, you are welcome, Maria, anytime, no problem. It has been a very exciting weekend for me. My baby, my pumpkin, graduated from college on yesterday, and you talking about somebody so super duper proud, so proud of my baby, so proud of my baby. So it was an awesome day of celebration and rejoicing on yesterday, and we're still celebrating, we're still rejoicing. I am, at least tonight. So anyway, I'm so grateful to everyone who offered congratulations, and to everyone who came out to support her. There were so many family members and so many friends out supporting her yesterday as she graduated from college, and forever grateful for that. Always grateful for that. So anyway, tonight, hello doll, how you doing? Thank you for joining us for tonight's discussion. Hopefully we will have a very in-depth, informative discussion on tonight. Hello, Mr. Jackson. I see you trying to come in there. You hadn't popped up yet, but it looks like it's giving you be the old college try. So come on in, everybody. Come on in. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight for tonight's edition of Let's Talk. Like I said, as always, I'm just so excited to be here. Looking forward to our discussion tonight. I hope that everyone will join in with their thoughts and with their comments and with their questions, so that we can just approach this subject because it is a very important one. The discussion that we're having tonight is a very important discussion. And it is one that at this time in our history here in the United States, we need to consider carefully. and not just consider, not just talk about it, see what type actions that we need to take concerning the issue. Okay. Like I said, I always say, guys, please like and share the video as you come in. Like and share the video. Let me know that you're here. Give me a good hello. Hello, Sandra Dowdell. Hello, Althea Thomas. Thank you guys so much for joining. Give me a hello and like and share the video. Tag some of your friends. Let them know that we're here on the air tonight and that we are having this very important discussion. Um, okay. Okie dokie. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, Mr. Jackson. How you doing, baby?
I'm
How are you
doing
doing this
very
evening?
well, very well. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm doing fabulous. You're looking good. You're looking
Well,
good.
I feel okay. I shall not. I will not. I'm just not going to complain. It's been good today.
Okay.
It's really good.
Okay.
It's cold.
It it is a little chilly. But it's been a great day. Like I said, it's been a great weekend.
Hmm.
Hello, Miss Vanessa Brown, Duchess, Andrew Page. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys so much. Justin, I think you're in trouble, Justin. But anyway, I'll let you and your sister have that discussion. But anyway, so let's get started. Welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. I am your host, Juju, and we are coming to you live this evening from my living room. And I have with me, of course, my sidekick, my producer, Mr. Jerry Jackson, who is my brother and my friend. He's my pick, my partner in crime. He's my one call, that's all. All of that, all of that. I get him involved in so much kind of mess, and he just say, okay, well, Julia, well, do you think we should do this? Well, wait a minute. Let us think about it. Now, I'm just going to play the adversary. Let's see. So, he's that one call. That's all. And I love him. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that Let's Talk is not intended to be a news show, but we will do our best to steer clear of gossip and things that we know are not true. What we want to do here is share ideas. And so I hope that you all feel comfortable expressing your opinions, asking your questions, sharing your knowledge, and that way we can all grow together. Thank you guys so much for just joining us tonight for this discussion. I think it's going to be an important one. I hope it's informative. I hope it's thought provoking. And I hope it also is, as always, is uplifting. And tonight we're going to continue to talk about supporting small businesses or supporting Black-owned businesses, which has been our theme throughout December for the most of the month. But we're going to really kind of look at it from a little slightly different perspective. And we're going to talk about building thriving Black communities. Building thriving Black communities. All right, so let's get started with our icebreaker. Do you think it is possible to build a thriving Black community in today's society? And the second part of that, do you think it is important, or why should we focus on building thriving, self-sustaining Black communities? Or should we look to be integrated, more integrated and inclusive? What are your thoughts on that? Mr. Jackson, what are you thinking about that tonight?
Well, as I was posting the question, the twofold question, and the answer is yes. It's very possible that we can build a thriving Black community. We've done it in the past, and we do it right now, but not collectively and collaboratively. Um, if you think about how we support our local beauty and barbers and small businesses such as you, um, all of you are doing well, but not to the point where we've collectively started to support each other. And once we start doing that, I think one of our biggest issues is we've got to get out of the mindset that we're in competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as many people as we have in our small community, it's enough for everybody to get a piece of the pie. So what we need to start doing is supporting a little over here, a little over there. You know, you crochet, someone else may crochet. I can support you. I may
Mm-hmm.
love the work that you do. I'm going to give you 80% of support, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
also going to support someone else that is trying to do well. I may not give them but 10%. Then I'll take that other 10% and give it to someone else. But I'm sharing the wealth. And once we
Mm-hmm.
understand of sharing the wealth, then we can have that striving community. And if we put our dollars to work with each other, not only are we helping our next brother or sister, but we're putting money back in the community where we can have those wonderful opportunities for those that are less fortunate, and we can give back to one another. Um,
Okay.
so my answer is yes to both.
Okay.
We certainly should be focusing on building thriving, self-sustained communities. We're going to have to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is the churches, no matter what your denomination is, we all are serving God. We've got to support one another. Um, you know, if I have a local store in my community, I can go to that local store and support that local person because that person has invested in my community. Therefore, when I support that person in my community, that person can now give back to the community, whether it be through education, many different areas of opportunity. So my answers would be yes to both questions.
Okay. All right. And we had a couple of
Yes,
comments
we
pertaining to the
do.
icebreaker.
Yes, we
Mm-hmm.
do. Jordan said, yes, we can and should. And Maria Davis says, yes, it is possible. It is very, very important. So thank you, Jane, and thank you, Maria, for providing your answer. That's all we have.
Okay. All right. So, and you guys continue to think about that. And we'll continue to read off your comments as we go along. But I want to talk about tonight. First of all, I want to talk about a thriving community in the past. It is the story of Black Wall Street or the Greenwood District in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about the jungle. We want to talk about this community that we came out of, and it was a thriving community. It was a community where the people worked hard. We went to church together. We supported one another. We helped one another out. It wasn't a lot of small businesses in there, but the doctors that were in this community, surrounding community, not necessarily in the jungle, but the Black doctors, Dr. Steele, Dr. Darden, we supported those doctors. And more importantly, we had that village mentality that we were one tribe, one troop, one group supporting each other. And out of that, in our generation, Jerry, the majority of us, when we look around the community, went to college, obtained uh, degrees, uh, got professional jobs. Those that did well in the chosen jobs that they had for the most part, whatever profession that they chose. But we were a thriving community. So I just wanted to say that that was, we grew up in what, the late 60s, 70s. And so we were a thriving community at that time. And so, but now I want to talk about the Greenwood district in Tulsa, better known as Black Wall Street. Now, first of all, this is not something that we learned in history. At least I was never taught it in school. Did you ever learn anything about Tulsa or Greenwood? No.
No.
All we were taught in school is that we were slaves. Okay, that was our Black history, and then there was one good Black man, Dr. Martin Luther King, and one good Black woman, Rosa Parks. And that was basically the extent of the history. But Tulsa was like a Mecca uh, in Oklahoma, Greenwood, the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And this thriving Black community, self-sufficient, self-sustaining, started in 1907, 1906, 1907. That's when the settlement began. Okay, and it began by former slaves. And when the when the slaves were freed, um, along with the Emancipation Proclamation came the declaration that slaves should receive 40 acres and a mule. Okay. And now, of course, President Andrew Jackson came along and undid all of that, but they enforced it with the Indian tribes that owned slaves. Of course, they had taken most of the land from the Indians, but that the Indians did give, even though the Caucasians, whites were not giving out their 40 acre and a mule, they forced the Indians to do that. So that's how that land in Greenwood, that's how they got possession of that land. And it was like 35 city blocks, so it was big, but it had everything in it. Native Americans, yes, ma'am, Duchess. Native Americans. Um, but it had everything in it. They had their own schools. They had, of course, their own churches. They had nice homes. They had their own hotels. They had their own movie theaters. They had doctors. It wasn't a doctor. They had doctors. They had lawyers. They had just everything that they needed within that region, and they supported one another. And it was a lot of money in the area because at that time, there was oil in the area, and there was a lot of people in oil, and none of the blacks really worked in the oil fields or in the oil business, but they worked in the homes as domestic servants for the white people in the surrounding areas that worked in the oil business. And because the oil business was so lucrative and they made so much money, they paid their domestic servants, they paid them very well. And then there were also a lot of the blacks that worked in the city, but a lot of them did work for the white people. Very few worked in the oil business, but not many. But what they did was all the money that they earned, they invested it in their community. They spent it in their communities. They went to their own restaurants. They went to their own theaters. They went to their own churches. They went to their own shoemakers. They went to their own doctors. They went to their own lawyers. And it is said that the money that they made changed hands 20 times within the district, within Greenwood, before it ever left Greenwood and went outside of Tulsa. So that means they were building, steadily building wealth. They had their own banks. They were thriving. They had nice things, they had cars, they had busing services. I mean, just whatever you needed, you could get it in that Greenwood district, and they supported each other. They kept their dollars in their own community. And so they lived very well in Greenwood, in that district. And a lot of the churches and the houses and the theaters and the hotel, they built a grand hotel. It was nicer than the stuff that the white surrounding community had. And of course, this all infuriated the whites surrounding them. And as a result of all of that, um, as a result of all of that, um, and the jealousy and the infuriation, of course, we know about or if we don't know, the whites in Tulsa surrounding in 1921, excuse me, they invaded um, the Greenwood district, and um, they massacred a lot of the people. They burned down the 35 city blocks. They killed over 300 people and put them in mass graves. They arrested over 1,000 people, injured more than that, and the ones that were left, about 10,000, were put into internment camps. Okay, guys, so concentration camps. So we as Black people have been in this United States not only enslaved, but also placed in internment camps and concentration camps, and only let out the camps to go to work and that, and you had to have a badge, and you had to wear your badge at all times. If you were caught out without your badge, then you were arrested, and of course that was the end of the Greenwood district. But we talk about that. I talk about that not so much to talk about the massacre, but to talk about the Mecca, the the great district, the great community that was built and that was possible back in 1907, from 1907 to 1921. And I guess what we want to examine tonight is it possible for us in 2024, 2025 to have that kind of thriving community? Is it something that we should strive for? I look at the things that are going on and the whispers, or it's not even whispers, they're talking out loud about this incoming administration and the things that they want to do. And it has led me to believe that it's incumbent upon us as Black people to work on sustaining and supporting one another. Because if you really just think about it, we are the only race of people that don't really support each other to the level that we should and could. We talked about the trillions of dollars that we spend every year. Um, and we think about and talked about the small amount of those dollars that we spend within our community. So let's we're going to have that discussion tonight. And like I said, I want you guys to make sure that you join in, ask your questions, give your comments, make your points, educate us, give us, your statistics or the things that you know, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff that we're missing in our history, and we need to make sure that we're sharing those things with our kids to let them know what we have done. Because if we did it before, guess what? We can do it again. Any comments, Mr. Jackson?
There are no comments. I posted the question. I see that Maria Davis said that the only information from a history perspective was from the Little Known Black History Facts segment on the Tom Joyner show, where she was able to learn about historical facts about um, Blacks in our era, other than Martin Luther King and that era. But thank you for that. I don't see any other comments. Do you see any on your end? I think I'm able to see all the comments on
Yeah,
my end.
I don't see any others. All righty. Okay, so let us start. First of all, my first question is, what do you guys think about the thought that it takes a village to raise a child? And, and the second part of that is, do you think we still have the village mentality in the Black community? And if not, do you think we need to rebuild the village? So, what do you think about the it takes a village mentality? Do we still have that mentality? And if not, do you think we need to get that mentality back? So let us know what you think. And while we're waiting on comments, Mr. Jackson, I just want to say something. Yesterday, like I mentioned earlier, Jordan graduated yesterday, and I had taken a picture, or we had taken a picture, and Jordan was standing in front of the AUM monument, and the rest of the family was standing behind her. And my pastor said, I love this picture because it's like Jordan is standing there and her tribe is standing behind her. Her support system is standing behind her. And I just thought that that was such a powerful image. And when I looked back at the picture, I saw that. And I personally feel like our young people need to know that they have a tribe, a support system behind them, standing behind them, pushing them, cheering for them, supporting them, for them to fall back on if they need to. So and we certainly coming up, we certainly had that village mentality, and we had that village. Um, Mr. Jackson.
We've got a comment, and then
Okay.
I'll comment in
Okay.
reference. Mrs. Learn said it absolutely takes a village. I do believe some people still have this mentality, but most people do not. And Duchess Thomas says yes, holding them up. Um, and we'll talk about those comments in just a moment. But that was one of the first things that I noticed when I saw the photograph of Jordan. And by the way, congratulations, Jordan. I'm so proud of you. But what I noticed immediately was the village concept. But when I think about how your family was raised and my family was raised, that's all we knew was to
Mhm.
be the village, to support one another. And we've been very supportive in the Jungle Village, if you think
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
All of our parents did things together to support one another. We fed each other, we clothed each other, we supported, we clapped. Anything that we needed, we were able to get it in that circumference. And I still think we do have a village. It's just smaller. Everybody is doing things conceptualized or compartmentalized because we're faced with so many different challenges today. But the village is still strong. We've just got to change our mentality and we've got to broaden that village. And what that means is it's okay to support group A over here and still support your village. It's okay to support group B over here and still support your village. That's what a village is all about. It's a consortium. It's the numerous churches working together, whether I go and attend St. Luke, Greater Peace, Pleasant Grove, St. James, Antioch, it doesn't matter. We still all are part of that same village, and we've got to be able to support each other. You know, we were laughing and joking at how it was such an honor to be chosen to go and represent your church to pass that $10 to that other church, whether it were youth day or whatever day it was. We were very excited to support each other, and that was the village. If St. Luke was having a family and friends day, oh, we couldn't wait to go sit out on the yard and eat. Or if Greater Peace was doing something, well, at that time it was Peace Baptist, we couldn't wait to go sit outside under the trees and eat and be supported. And that's where we have to still get today is we have got to know that it's okay to support someone if they're not in my same house. And when I say my same house, I'm talking about in my same neighborhood.
Mhm.
If I live in Ward 1, I need to support Ward 1, but I can also go over and support Ward 2.
Mhm.
So we've got to have that mentality that we've got to have a broader perspective and be able to put $10 over here so that $10 can come back over here. That's my thought.
And keeping that all the while, we're keeping that $10 in the community.
Yes. And we
Um,
had a comment from MD Designs, Maria Davis. She said the village is so needed. I don't think that there is a village mentality much these days. It is difficult for the village because parents don't appreciate it. Also, the village has changed and criticized more than help. Oh my, what a profound, poignant statement. Um,
mhm.
it was okay when Margaret Thomas would call Johnny May and say, Jerry Lynn, Brian here cussing. Or Dusty Kendrick would say, Jerry Lynn, I here starting up something. I knew it was going to be structured in the land because they could tell on me and my mother would appreciate it. And to Maria's point, nowadays these parents are saying, why do you think you are saying something to my child? I raised my child.
Mhm.
Well, I'm
Mhm.
trying to support
Mhm.
and help you.
Mhm.
Don't want your
Mhm.
child to
Mhm.
bring damnation or embarrassment to you. So thank you, Maria, for that comment.
Mhm. And I think about that a lot, Mr. Jackson. We don't want other people to. We don't want to necessarily chastise our kids, and we definitely don't want anyone else to chastise our kids. And when we were growing up in the jungle and had that village mentality, Miss Johnny May was our mom. My mama Margaret was our mom. Miss Kendrick was our mom. Miss Pruitt was our
Yes,
mom. Miss Lisa B was our
yes,
mom. Miss Annie
yes,
Mae was our mom. Miss Viola, Miss Lottie Pearl. All of these people, but they loved us. And
yes,
like you said, they didn't want us to hurt each other. They were nurturing one another, and our parents trusted them, because of course you couldn't be there 24/7 with your child, and you still can't be there with your child 24/7. So you have to have people around you, or you need to have people around you that you can trust to help you raise your kids, help you love your kids, help you support your kids. And it's about the love, really. It's really about the love. And the Bible says who God loves, he chastises, right? So
correct.
if I see you in a child in the street, playing in the street, it would be derelict on me not to say, baby, get out of the road. You're going to get hit by a car. But now when you say that my child can play in the road if they want to, yes they can. I had a friend of mine was talking about, "Gee, you cannot chastise other people's kids, you can't be fussing at them." I was like, yes I can chastise my nieces and my nephews, my god kids, and I'm going to. That's my responsibility. So, no, I don't say nothing to other people's kids. I don't do that. I don't do that. My brothers and sisters' kids, I don't do that. I said, well, I am going
I
to
do.
chastise my sisters and brothers' kids if they need it. And they already know that. And so my friend's child was playing in the car, and the car was on. They had left the car on, and they in there playing and I didn't say anything. I just looked. And they're like, why you didn't say anything to him? I said, didn't you tell me that I don't supposed to say nothing to other people's kids? I'm not gonna say anything to your child. If you
And
don't want
that's a
me to
great
say,
that's a great point. And we have a comment from Darlene Dahl Todd. She says, some people don't want to get involved, not wanting to help others. I always heard that about a village, but it wasn't around when I was growing up. I always try to help when I can. And Maria Davis, this is so funny because it's so prevalent when we were growing up. She said she was stopped by the police, and before she could get home, her daddy knew because Katie Barber was going to tell it. And yes, Katie Moody told on all of us. Whenever Katie Barber would, oh, I couldn't get away with anything with Katie Moody because that lady loved us and she told on us. And I got a lot of whippings. And Darlene says she does, take care of her. And I'm assuming she's saying that she chastises her sisters and brothers' kids. And I can understand that. And what's so funny today, Julia, this generation is different. And we always want to blame generational gaps. But when I think about my nieces and my nephews, I'm always chastising them. And they always say, well, here comes Uncle, because I'm going to have a word of wisdom for them. And when they get out of line, I'm going to correct them. But whenever they need me, and it doesn't have to be my biological, it doesn't have to be my parentals, it doesn't have to be my siblings. If you are a part of my village and I get a call to action, I am coming
mm-hmm.
because
That is
that's what
true.
we have to do. And you know what I love about me? I'm going to toot my own horn. I do a
Okay.
whole lot of supporting the village in the background. You're never going to hear me tooting my horn out loud and saying I do this and I do that. But when there's a need, I'm coming. And my sister, she always fusses at me. She said, "You don't want me to call you out, do you, on what I know that you've done?" And I'm thinking, who has told her that I've done something, that I've given somebody something? Because I'm always saying, I don't have a whole lot to give, but I always find that I'm supporting. And it doesn't have to be financial. And even if you're supporting with $5, that's $5 in the community. And guess what? We're going to get a return on our investment. I always look at the ROI, and that's what supporting the village is all about, getting a return on investment. Look at Jordan. Look at the other Jordan. Look at all of your nieces. Look at your nephews. Look at everybody in your family. How we supported them, and look what they've done. They're now pouring right back into the community. And we're seeing and reaping those benefits. And there is a reaping of the harvest when we
Mhm.
sow good seeds.
This is true.
Um, so I think we're caught up
Okay.
on our comments right now.
Okay.
So we're good.
Okay. Well, my next question is, do you, and I'm talking to the people in the audience, do you search out Black businesses to support? If you need some plumbing done, do you search for a black plumber? If you need some electrical work, do you search for a black electrical person? If you need some clothes, do you search for black owned businesses to shop? If you
I
need a
do.
doctor, do
I
you search
do.
out black
I
owned doctors? If you
do.
need a lawyer, do you search out
I
black
do.
lawyers?
And
Um,
do.
do you actively look for black businesses to support? That is my question.
And my
And
answer is a resounding
a
yes.
resounding yes. Okay. And that is good. That is great. Okay.
Uh,
Uh,
Maria says yes. Darlene says yes, I do search them first. Jordan says people don't realize that as kids get older, they appreciate it. I tell people all the time, I have lots of parents. They look at me crazy, but I do, and I appreciate it. You're absolutely correct, Jordan. It's a lot of us. And see, I love it, Julia, when they call me uncle.
uh-huh.
That makes me feel special because that's a term of endearment and that's a term of respect. And that means that because they know I love y'all, then I love them. But anyway, um, I just, back to your question, I love this question. Do we seek out Black businesses to support? And I've been, what's the word I want to use? I've been strategic and intentional
Intention.
in
Mm-hmm.
posting information about our Black businesses. I was so proud of my cousin Darius Dorsey,
Mm-hmm.
who's continuing the legacy of Uncle Dorsey.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big time plumber, and
Right.
he taught Darius. And look at Darius is taking that torch and carrying it. And what I was so proud to be able to do in the what's happening in Opelika and Auburn, people needed a plumber, and I was able to recommend him, and they used him, and I was super excited for that. And every chance I get, I'm always trying to support our Black businesses. But may I sort of go 180? Let me just do it. Let me do a little segue. Um, I don't want to hear that Black businesses are so hard to support. We give them one chance, and if they don't do it to our expectation, we throw them under the bus. We give them a hard time. But we'll go to McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. They'll get the order wrong. We'll continue to give them another chance, and we'll continue to give them our money. But the minute that one of the Black businesses, and I'm not saying they're being a scoundrel or scamming you, but if they make a mistake, where's our grace? We've got to
Mm-hmm.
understand to give them grace. They're trying to do the best that they can with the best of what they know how to do. And it's okay to give constructive criticism and feedback. I'll give you enough opportunity. And then if we can't work it out, I'm going to go to another Black business that does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I say, there is a plethora of us. But we've got to get out of this mentality that if one person messes up, then that's it. And we have a comment from Darlene Todd that says, "I have so many call me mama, and only have one child. That's because when they need me, I'm always there for them." Absolutely. And Maria says, absolutely complaining and continuing to go to the businesses that have let us down. And we'll fuss, but we go right back to the line. We continue to go to Walmart. We continue to, I'm finding
Mm-hmm.
places that support me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do business with businesses that support me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, as I told you 2 weeks ago, that's why rights. And Julia, and I know I don't want to steal too much of your time, but one of the young ladies called me, inboxed me, and said, "I was so shocked to see you at Wright's Grocery. I didn't think you thought enough of them to go shop there." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, you know how you are. You're kind of up there." I said, "I don't understand that." I said, "Honey, let me tell you what my new mantra is. I'm supporting people that support me. And rights
Mm-hmm.
is clean, they're nice. They waited on me hand and feet. I spent about $140 over there, and I didn't mind spending it. And guess what? When I go back to Opelika, to Alabama, I'm going right back over there and support them, because that the person that owns that place is putting so many dollars in our community and has been supporting us tremendously, especially um, enslavement of food is what I call it. We're in our communities that are starving for
He
food.
does it.
So I'm really excited about that.
Mhm.
So
That just said, Mr. Jackson, that Jerry seeks out and supports black businesses always. So that's what she said about black
what
business,
what
that about
she's
you.
telling the truth. She's telling the
Okay.
truth.
Okay.
Um, and she said, and you know, I'm gonna be that cheerleader that's gonna clap for you out loud and be eating you up behind the scenes. And now you need to go ahead and be doing this because this is your gift. Do it. Yeah, I'm gonna push, 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 but I'm gonna clap for you out loud, but eat you up on the backside, saying, "Let's get it done." Yeah.
Let's get it done.
Um, I think we've got another comment. Maria says, um, Darlene says she doesn't go back, period. Okay, all right. Maria says, as a black business owner, I don't even take for granted that I will be supported simply because I'm black. I take pride, hallelujah, and you do.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I take pride in providing good customer service because that is what I would expect. And
Expect. Mm-hmm.
Maria, you hit the nail on the head. I have supported Maria out the gate, and each time I've always been pleased. She goes above and beyond to make sure that her work is good, and I keep going back. And I can call her with an idea and say, "This is what I need," and it gets done. Just like with you,
Mm-hmm.
Juju, just like with Joyce's jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Many of you, I can call and just give you an idea because we've done so much of support. You know what I want, and you get it done, and it's always professionally done.
Okay.
And I'm going to share something personal between Julia and I. I had to really fuss at Julia and tell her, you have to charge me the same price you charge somebody else. It doesn't matter that I'm your brother from another mother. You have to charge me the same price that you charge somebody else. I don't get any hookups, okay? We don't do
Mm-hmm.
hookups because the same amount of energy that you put in my document or in my apparel, you do the same thing for somebody else. So I need to pay you. So if you tell me it's $100, I can't turn up my nose and say, "Ooh, that's too much. I want a hooker."
Mm-hmm.
No, that's what you're worth.
Yeah.
Service-oriented businesses, we charge people what you're worth.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so Duchess has a comment. She says, "Yes, Maria does excellent work, and she's always prompt and professional. I love it." And so are you too, Joyce. All of you
No.
are. That's why I keep supporting you. Go
Okay.
ahead, Julia. That's all the comments we have.
Okay. So my next question is, and it was kind of what you were alluding to. Why do you think some black people are reluctant? Now, this is where we get into it, and I want honest opinions, and I want your opinions. Why do you think some black people are reluctant to support black businesses? Why do you think that? I've heard many excuses. I've heard, they're not reliable. They stuff is not on time. Some people even think just by the nature of it being a white owned business is better. They're better doctors. It reminds me of an episode of Sanford and Son, where Fred had to go to the dentist, and the black dentist came in there, and Fred was like, "I don't want him working on my mouth," and Lamont was like, "Why not?" Da 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 da. And Fred was asking him, "What did you go to school? Correspondence course?" And all this. He was asking these questions. And then finally the guy said, "Oh, wait, I know what you want." So he went and he got the white doctor. And of course, the white doctor came in there and he was asking him, "Oh, where did you go to school?" And he threw out a name of school. And the guy's like, "No, I went to correspondence course." but Anyway,
Okay, we
so
got a good point,
okay,
Julie. We've got a response from Mrs. Learns. She says, MD Designs, thank you for creating the ornaments in memory of my mother.
okay,
It brings me
okay.
so much joy to place this on the Christmas tree for the second year. Um, since we don't have, I don't want to just continue to chime in, but if you need me to chime in to your question, I will.
Okay, I want to. I really want those out there
We
in
do
the audience.
too.
First of all, are you reluctant? Are you reluctant to support Black businesses? First of all, and then why do you think? Y'all come on and talk to me tonight because I really want to know the answer to this question because we have to get past this if we're going to be a thriving Black communities. We have to get to past the reluctance to support one another. That's the only way we're going to build these communities is if we support one another. So, what are some of, if you have any hesitations or drawbacks or reluctance in any way,
We've got a response.
let me know.
We've got a
Let me know.
response.
Okay.
Darlene Todd says, I call on some Black businesses to do work and they never come through. I think they don't have the money to pay because I'm single. I think she's saying, I think they don't think she has the money to pay because she's single and Black. This really irritates me. Ja'Cory Calloway says, I am not reluctant to support Black businesses. Thank you, Ja'Cory. Um, I love that. And Darlene has a valid point. Um, people do sometimes it's their thinking, their way of thinking. Um, I, I have to get past, but my thoughts, we've got another point. Maria Davis says, I am not reluctant to support Black businesses in general. The issue is when there is an expectation that I support you because you're Black. I love that. Mrs. Learn says, it brings me lots of joy to support Black businesses. And I love that. So we've got a myriad of comments. We've got several that say they're not reluctant, and then some that think because single may not have the money to pay. It could be a myriad. Jordan says people complain about the prices a lot, but the cost matches the quality. Oh
Mm,
my, yes. I love that. Thank you, Jordan. I love that. Um, I I'm in agreement with. I hear you from both sides, and as I was sharing with Julia, Julia spends exorbitant amount of time doing her craft, and it's a lot of love poured into the craft. She's very good at it. I'm amazed. It just amazes me how I can give her an idea and she does. But I think when it comes to service oriented jobs, we don't realize the amount of time that is spent. I learned my most valuable lessons when I was doing uh, wedding consultations, and I was helping brides from the beginning to the ending of their wedding, putting together. And once I sat down and did a configuration of how much I was making an hour and how much I was charging, and figured that out, I was making 27 cents an hour. When I told a person, oh, I'll charge you $2,000 to put your wedding together. That includes the flowers and the programs, the directing, all of that. Can you imagine how much money I went in the hole because I thought in my mind I was $2,000 was a lot of money. But when I sat down and configured about the number of hours and the labor, 27 cents an hour, who works for that? No one.
mhm,
So what we have to do as consumers, we've got to understand in that small business that there's a lot of overhead, there's a lot of hours that's spent. They're not going to be the Walmart or the Target where
mhm.
they're the huge conglomerate. So I love what Jordan said. The
Right,
quality is phenomenal. And
right.
then we got a comment from Jasmine. Julia is amazing. I'm happy to pay any business for good work. I certainly agree. And Maria says, with that expectation, the business may or may not provide quality goods and services. Now, I want to be very clear that I support Black businesses because of the work that you do, not just because you're quote unquote Black and that's the expectation. I support you because you're good, your work is phenomenal, you do what you say you're going to do, and you're not trying to charge me 3 arms and a leg for the product that I'm getting. It's fair. I don't have a problem with that. I don't see any other comments,
Okay.
Julia.
Okay, and just let me say this, Mr. Jackson. I'm going to say this when it comes to supporting a business because they're Black. Now, if they're doing shoddy work or I got to hunt you down, that's a different story. But
Yeah,
if
yes.
I have to have a choice, I want our mindset to be, if I have a choice between A and B, I'm going to get the same service, the same quality or better quality from A, which is a Black business. Yes, because you're Black, I'm going to choose you. Because what you guys need to understand is that's how other races choose. If they got to make a choice, am I going to vote for the white man or the more competent Black woman? Oh, because he's white, guess what? I'm going to support the white. And same thing come to business. So I don't mind the thought that, okay, yes, I'm going to support a minority business because they are minority first and foremost. If they're giving me what I need,
Right.
and they're giving me what I need. I don't have that a problem with saying all things being equal, I'm going with the Black or the minority
Thank you.
business. Okay,
Thank you, Julia. Love
I
that.
I I don't have a problem saying that.
We've got
Okay, so
got some comments.
okay,
Um, several.
okay.
Maria says, I always look for Black owned. The fact gets me in the door. Mrs. Lawrence says, I support Black businesses because they are Black first, hands down. Ja'Cory Calloway says, I am not going to pay you and beg you, regardless of who's the owner. And then, hello, Contessa Jordan Payne. We see you. And Rodriguez Barnes says, I agree. As well, the Black business people need to know how to treat their Black clients and act professional. Absolutely. I certainly agree. But Julia, you said it better than I could have ever said it. You're going to seek out the Black owned business, and so am I. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want it to be misconstrued that when I say I'm not just going to support you because you're Black, I want it to be understood. Let me make sure, let me be very clear. I'm going to seek the Black owned business first, first and foremost. And I'm going to provide my expectation. I'm going to hear when they can do what they say they were going to do. Then we're going to come to an agreement. And when it's done, I'm going to pay. I've
Okay.
never, I've never been slothful or late when someone tells me what they're going to charge me. We come to an agreement, and that's what we're going to do. And those
Okay.
are all the comments right now.
Okay. So let us get on because we're approaching time. So what can we do as individuals to help create thriving Black communities? And, and what can we do as individuals? What kind of ideas can we do? And first of all, supporting Black owned. But I think first and foremost is we have to learn to love ourselves and love one another. Respect ourselves, respect one another, value ourselves, and value one another. Offer what a credibility to one another, and just a whole lot of different things, but that love factor, that support factor, and the credibility. We so often we'll go out and we'll buy, so let's say these brand names. I want a Coach purse. What makes a coach a coach? It's just that we have offered so much credibility to that name brand. It's not necessarily that it's so much better than any other purse, any other leather purse. And sometimes some other leather purses are better than the Coach purse. But we have given credibility and added a bit of I don't know the word I'm looking for, but to that purse, that name brand. We need to offer that same credibility to someone who is offering us good quality service that is black. Why can't you? I when they had the Barbie craze, this when they had the Barbie movie and everybody Barbie, and I was really making my dolls then, and I'm like, okay, this handmade juju is worth 10 times that Barbie, but they want this Barbie instead of this handcrafted
We've got
uh,
several
doll.
comments. We've got several
Okay, go ahead,
comments.
go
Several.
ahead.
From Mrs. Learns. She says, we pay in big white businesses all the time. They get many chances to mistreat their customers.
Mhm.
Jordan says, we can restore pride within our community. If we take pride in what we do and who we are, then we can accomplish a lot. I love that.
Yes.
Then we have a comment from Jasmine Hayes. How can non-people of color help in building up colored communities, along with supporting their small businesses? And then Duchess says, those Coach bags are some nice leather, though. Well, so are just a regular leather bag. It doesn't have to have Coach on it. It's because we've esteemed these labels. And I walk around. I've got a leather bag that's worth a whole lot of money, but it doesn't have LV on it. It doesn't have Coach on it. It's a normal, very high effective leather bag, but because it's not one of those very big name brands, but hey, it's a nice leather bag. I love it. I do.
Mhm.
These comments are absolutely profound. Those are all that we have. Back to you, Julia.
Could you read me what Jordan said again? I can't see the comments, but
Yeah,
I
Jordan said we can restore pride within our community. If we take pride in what we do and who we are, then we can accomplish a lot.
my baby, I want you all to know she is a phenomenal thinker. That's why I want you to repeat that. We need to realize that the young people, and that's one thing that we need to do, make sure we're investing in our young people because they have so much to offer. We think that they are all just running around with their heads in the clouds and that's not true. They have some very valuable, worthwhile opinions and thoughts and ideas, and we need to invest in them. And we do need to take pride in what we have and what we are offering and what we have to offer one another. We have to take pride in that and take pride in ourselves. So yes, taking pride and having pride is one thing. What you laughing at, Mr. Jackson?
Because Joy said that she was just talking. She wears and carries inexpensive items. That's what I was just reading her comment.
Oh, she tried because you tried to get her, try to read her. She gonna tell you because Joyce is not a label
No,
chaser at all,
no.
not at all. Um, but we give value to products, and that was my point. We give the value to the products. We need to give that value, the same value that we would give to something that is made by and produced and distributed by a white company. We need to give that to a black company. And Jasmine, to your question, you always support. You have always supported me, and the thing about it is, we need to learn to support one another. And one of the reasons I'm having this discussion is because of the discussion that I had with you and Tyler, and when you were talking about Native Americans and how you all are trying to regain your culture, you're trying to instill those things that may have been stripped away, or that society has tried to strip away from the culture. You're trying to instill those in your young people, but that's the same thing, that I'm thinking about with the Black community. We need to start back instilling the village mentality, the tribe mentality that we had when I was coming up. We need to start back trying to instill that in our young people, in our communities. And so, yeah, you by doing what you're doing with you and telling your story, that has helped me. And by the number of views that story got, I think it helped a lot of us in the Black community. Yeah, keep on supporting like you support, uh and keep on doing the things that you're doing, because what I'm saying is not that we're against any other community. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying that we would exclusively support Black communities, but I'm just saying we need to make investments in our community like other communities make investments in their community. That's what I'm saying. And the last question I have, because it's time for us to go, well, and this is, so I'll let you think about this on your own. What can we do collectively as a race to create thriving Black communities? And that'll be something I'll leave you guys with, and you can put in the chat or put in the comment, or just think about it, ponder it to yourself, because we need to focus on um, supporting one another and building our communities, because there may be some dark days ahead of us, looking at the ideas of the incoming presidential administration here in the United States. But united we stand, divided we fall. Mr. Jackson, you got our announcements right quick.
Absolutely. I have posted them in the chat. I just want to remind you of next Sunday's event. We're going to be talking about being intentional about success in the new year. Please support that Divinely podcast, the mother and daughter duo that's out on YouTube that hits the, the market every Monday. Buy Juju for You and Joyce Duchess Thomas Benson will be having a phenomenal Christmas sale this Wednesday, December 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Please make plans to join us. I'll be there to support them. Um, Joyce will have Joyce's jewelry. Mary Kay and Juju will have all of her phenomenal crocheting uh, gifts that you can purchase. So, great time for last minute items. Um, Please contact Joyce Duchess Thomas, who is a phenomenal independent Mary Kay consultant for all of your Mary Kay needs. And just so that you know, I'm going to be reaching out to several of you ladies. I'm going to be hosting a Mary Kay party so that I can support my sister as she does her introduction to get you to see the wonderful skincare products and makeup and all that good stuff. Um, Juju's Dollhouse can be subscribed to on the YouTube channel. Keep up with everything from By Juju for You to every edition of Let's Talk, and that link has been posted. And just so that you know, that Juju for You is a proud sponsor of Hold Up the Light, which is Huddle. Back to you. And I have posted all of these announcements in the chat.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jackson, so much. And I want to thank you to all those that joined us tonight. Just want to reiterate that we will be having a sale on Wednesday night. I hope that you all will join us for those last minute Christmas gifts. We're going to have some great deals. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some giveaways. So come on and join the fun. We're just going to have a little Christmas party and a Christmas sale, and you probably get some really good deals. And if not, you have opportunities to win some nice presents, nice giveaways. So come join us Wednesday night. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Thank you guys so much for all of the love that you all show my baby. She got so much love as she graduated, and you all pray for her as she commences. And the guy was talking about the commencement service, and we think about graduation as being the end of something, but
The
commencement
beginning.
means the
The
beginning.
beginning.
And so I have never thought about that. So as she begins this new chapter, you all pray for her, that God covers and guides her, and that she has much success. And I just thank you all for everything. Thank you, Jasmine. Don't forget to post me that picture of you wearing that sweater. Thank you for everybody who has joined me and who continues to join. Y'all, if you haven't had a chance to do so already, please like and share the video. When we get likes, then we get our algorithms go up, we get more views, and that's what we want to do. And we increase our viewership, and we want to be bigger and better going into the new year, because we want to be informed and we want to inform each other. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Remember that I am Juju. I am that mountain moving giant slayer. I am walking by faith. I am inspiring hope, and I am showing love all along the way. And until next time, I wish you much love and many blessings. I think my heart is getting a little bit better, Jerry. But mine still don't look like yours. Yours look just like a heart. Mine looks like maybe a broken circle. But anyway, um, good night.